What is up, friends? What is up, YouTube? So I am just sitting here in my car, as you can probably tell. I'm in the parking lot of a gym here. I'm actually meeting up with one of my clients, so we kind of like met halfway. She's staying about like an hour and a half away from me, so we kind of met halfway. So I'm sitting in the parking lot getting ready to go into the gym now. I'm not sure if I'll get any like training footage. I just kind of want to be present in the moment, enjoy the time with her. So if I do, awesome. If I don't, I apologize in advance, but I'll catch you guys in the next clip, as I do want to talk about some fun, important things in this video. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so I did not get any gym footage. Don't kill me. I really don't like filming myself when I train, and I wanted to just spend the time I was in there with my client and enjoy that time, as I never get to see her. She doesn't live in Florida, so I like to take any advantage I can when clients are, you know, like even she's staying an hour away from me, but even when clients are that close, like you might as well try and meet up. When she normally lives like 12, 14 hours away, and she's only an hour away, I might as well meet up with her, right? It would be stupid of me not to. And I really enjoyed our time together. We trained at this gym up here. It's called Just Move. And honestly, it honestly reminds me a lot of the first gym I ever trained at back home, which was a Gold's Gym, but like just the atmosphere reminded me of that gym a lot. But anyways, I had a really good time training with my client. And now, and fun fact, I was going to tell you guys about this gym. This is actually where Janet Leug, who was Miss Olympia a year ago, she trains here. So that's actually how I knew of this gym. Otherwise I probably never would have known about it, but this is where she trains. I believe she still trains here today because she lives in the area. But yeah, a little fun fact about the gym, she was not here. But anyways, I am going to head back to Tampa. I need to stop, I need to get gas, I need to get home, I need to get my life together before we start the weekday, since today is a Sunday, and I will take you guys along for the ride. Okay, I am back home now, and you guys, I have played around with my lighting. Like, I have all my lights on right now in my apartment, and I still feel like I look really dark through this camera, so I apologize for that. But I opened my kitchen cabinet, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to show YouTube a few of my favorite things right now. So this is very random. But anyways, I just got back from the grocery store. Oh, I just revealed one of my favorites in the background. Hang tight on that one. But first favorite is roasted seaweed paper. Okay, so I have a friend, her name is Denitra. She also has a YouTube channel. I'll put her Instagram below, and then you can find her YouTube through that as well. But she posts about these all the time. She's like obsessed with these seaweed papers, and I've had them before, but recently, since I've seen her like posting about them, I was reminded, and I started getting them again at the store, and I don't know why. They're just so good. They are so good. It's just like, it's a salty little crunch. There's barely any macros to them, but I just love them. Okay, second little favorite thing is these protein puffs. So these are from a company called Shrewd. As you can see, if you look really closely, the flavor is avocado toast. Like what? So good, so good. I can't even talk apparently, but anyways, so good. These are essentially comparable, like macro wise, to Quest Nutrition chips. So for this bag, which is 21 grams, it's 3.5 fat, 2 carb, and 13 protein. So if you think about those cheese balls, cheese puffs that you enjoyed as a child, at least I know I did, essentially they are like, it's a healthier version of those, right? I would say they're really, really good. You know, obviously the texture is a little bit different, but they're really good, and for the macros, like, you can't beat it. So you can get these online. I think some stores actually carry them, but safest bet would probably be to get them on Amazon. Again, Shrewd Food. These are amazing. Okay, next thing is actually a supplement item. This is from PE Science. You guys know I love PE Science. This is a sleep supplement. It's called REM. And I am not one that like swears by different supplements. I truly don't have a supplement that I like swear by. But this one I have taken on and off for a while now, and I've been back on it for the past couple of days, and I will tell you, my sleep has been night and day different. So I definitely think this is a magic worker. It doesn't make me tired, so it's not like it makes me drowsy, but what I do notice is that it makes me sleep very hard. And like, I've only woken up once in the middle of the night the past 2 nights to go to the bathroom. And normally I wake up like twice to go to the bathroom. I wake up in the middle of the night because I'm just like tossing and turning, but No, this stuff knocks me out cold. And like, there is no better feeling than waking up and just feeling like, oh my gosh, like that was the best quality sleep that I've ever gotten. So that is a favorite. You can get it on pescience.com or Amazon. And then lastly, this has been in the background the whole time. Okay, this popcorn, you guys, Lesser Evil popcorn, specifically this flavor, the no cheese cheesiness. Oh my God, this popcorn, it is addicting. Macro wise, for 3 cups, it's 4 fat, 16 carb, 2 protein, also has 4 grams of fiber. But if you are a popcorn lover, get the Lesser Evil brand and thank me later. Highly recommend portioning this out before diving into the bag because it is highly addicting, so be aware. But I know that this clip was just a little random all over the place, but I got home, I opened my cupboard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to show YouTube a few of my favorite things. So that's that. I am gonna probably make some food right now. Nothing exciting, just some air fried veggies, I think. Some eggs, I know, weird, and then maybe some oats for a carb, I'm not sure yet. But anyways, I will probably sit down with you guys in the next clip and talk about what I want to talk about mainly in this video, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I want to take a brief intermission to show you guys this nut butter. So I believe I've talked about this brand before on here, but it's called It's Nuts. It's actually owned by my teammate who lives out in California. So if you are looking for a small business that's amazing to support, check it out. I'll put the Instagram handle below, but this is one of the new seasonal flavors. This is caramel apple peanut butter, and it's gonna look a little different because I have had it in the freezer, but check it out. It is so good. There are a lot of little like freeze-dried apple pieces and the top of it had so much caramel on it, and there's just like caramel ribbons throughout. It's really, really good. I put it in the freezer personally. That's how I store it, partly because it helps with portion control and helps me not to eat the whole jar in one sitting. But 10 out of 10 would recommend this. It's definitely a little bit different than Focus Nuts because I know I talk about that brand a lot on this channel. I would say the biggest difference is going to be obviously the flavor, but like Focus Nuts doesn't have a caramel apple flavor, but the biggest difference I notice is that this is a little bit thicker in consistency and not as like, I hate to like use the word like runny, but it is really good. It's very unique. So I would recommend it. If you like peanut butter, check it out. Again, I will put the Instagram below, but check it out. It's delicious. Okay, you guys. So now, as promised, what I really wanted to sit down and talk about in this video is kind of related to what I talked about in my last YouTube channel. If you guys haven't watched that, go back and check it out. I did talk about how I have struggled with kind of like binging in the past. It hasn't been something I've struggled with in years, but of course there's always like little tendencies here and there, because I think anybody can attest to the fact that, you know, whether or not, I don't want to say I had like a disorder or anything, but when you deal with those tendencies, you know, eventually you recover from them, but there's always going to be the thought in your head, right? But more specifically in this, like this video clip, I want to talk about overeating and some of my tips for not overeating. It's much easier said than done, obviously, but I'll be completely honest and say I have recently struggled, you know, a couple times where I found myself feeling a little like out of control with certain foods. And the good thing is I have, you know, because I've kind of gone through it myself, I'm very self-aware, and I always sit back and like, you know, kind of evaluate, okay, what really made me do that? How was I feeling in the moment? And, you know, I've kind of identified a couple of, you know, strategies for not overeating that I have kind of, you know, been open with and shared with my clients as well, because I feel like they could just be really useful tips for everybody out there in general, because I think everybody goes through times where you're tempted to overeat or you do overeat, right? And first and foremost, it's gonna be, if you have a trigger food, do not keep it in the house. Eventually, yes, you can probably reintroduce it, but while it's a, you know, a big trigger food, like if you cannot just have one serving, if it's a food where you have to have multiple servings, do not have it in the house. For a lot of people, that's big family-sized bags of things like chips, that popcorn I showed in the last clip, things like that, right? Like a lot of people just cannot stop at one serving. And if you're that type of person, I would refrain from buying that type of food. If you do buy like the family size bags, a good idea too would be right after you get it, measure it out into portion sizes and put it in baggies right off the bat rather than keeping it in that big bag. So that's my first tip. The biggest tip I wanted to kind of give in this video though that I have really found helpful is just practicing mindful eating, which means slowing down when you're eating, being present in the moment when you're eating, and just slowing down in general, like I said, because if you think about it, think about any time in the past when you have had a moment of weakness where you've overeaten something. Typically, you're eating very fast when you do that, right? Like you are just loving the food, it's releasing that dopamine in your brain, and you are just going to town. And before you even know it, you're like, oh crap, what happened, right? So the majority of the times when we are overeating is, we are just eating way too fast. So something I have really forced myself to do is whenever I'm eating, whether it be a snack or whether it be a meal, I really force myself to sit down and to be present while I'm eating that meal and to eat it slowly, right? Because sometimes we fix a meal, we engulf it in 2 minutes, and then afterwards we're like, oh my God, like I blacked out. I don't even remember enjoying the meal and I'm not satisfied. And then we go back for more, right? So if you can really sit down, slow down, be present in the moment, chew your food thoroughly. I know that sounds like very a little out there, but it does work. I promise you it does work. When you slow down, you're gonna be a lot more satisfied afterwards. And one thing I always ask myself too is, and this is a little bit, easier said than done, but one thing I always remind myself of is whenever I have an urge to like eat something I shouldn't or overeat, right? Or lose control, I always, kind of take a deep breath, sit back and ask myself, okay, Lexi, how is your present self gonna feel? Is it worth it, to overindulge now to feel like, awful afterwards? Typically the answer is gonna be no. So you just have to really sit back and be self-aware and be able to ask yourself that and have the willpower and the strength, to, really say, okay, this is not gonna do any good for me in the present moment. This is gonna make my future self probably not feel the best, mentally and physically. So that kind of helps to, deter you from overeating as well. And then another funny tip of advice I do have to share before I end this clip, because I posted a video in my client Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group for my clients where I'll upload like little miniature videos every once in a while just over specific topics. And I talked about this topic in general, right? Mindful eating rather than mindless eating, which mindless eating is just like eating without thinking about it, right? And like not sitting down and actually enjoying the food. But one of my clients commented and said, okay, so I am back. I apologize for the little breaking clip there. My phone just decided to stop recording. I think it has something to do with it's running low on storage. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But anyways, before I leave you guys hanging for too long, my client, so one of the things she recommended for not overeating is actually eating with your opposite hand. And I was like, laughed because that's funny, but that's also really brilliant at the same time, right? If you have to eat with your opposite hand, you're obviously going to eat slower. That's going to cause you to overeat less. So thought that was a good idea. But I will say, I'm a no macros left behind kind of girl. So like I will eat every last morsel in the Tupperware, which is normally what I eat from. And so I can imagine like eating with my left hand would be a little hard to get like all of the last little bits. So anyways, that is a good idea though. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you did find this clip and just this video in general helpful and maybe entertaining. I don't know. I think I'm pretty boring, but I was like, gosh, I haven't filmed for YouTube in like a week. And like I said in the last video, sometimes I feel like I put an unnecessary amount of pressure on myself to like have an exact plan of what to film and of what to do. But I think people enjoy just the kind of go with the flow videos. At least I hope you guys do. So if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like this video, please subscribe to my channel and comment below if you have any thoughts about this video. But thanks guys, and I will catch you in the next video.